Hey, just for your information, this video is only part of the complete video that is linked in the top right hand corner. So should you be interested in more hands-on Galaxy S8 Plus Pro Mod tutorials, definitely go check that out. And now let's get on with this one. Once you're inside the camera app, swipe right across the screen, then select Pro to enter Pro mode. Last two options in the bottom right corner are called shutter speed and ISO. There's a lot to know about both of them, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to talk about the relation between the two as far as it relates to a low-light situation like this, because I believe in such a scenario you're going to benefit the most from setting both of those manually. Right behind me, I've set up a shot, so let's check out what we can get using auto mode. Now this is the shot and we're currently in auto mode, so let's take a still. And let's look at it a little closer. Bright areas seem fine, but as soon as we take a look at the darker areas, we notice a lot of digital noise. And if we come over here, it becomes painfully apparent. That is by no stretch of the imagination the actual texture of that surface. See how grainy and dirty the image gets. And it's exactly this digital noise that we're gonna get rid of now. But why do we get such results in the first place? Well, for lack of a better word, the smartphone assumes that you want to take a shot like this handheld. So to avoid motion blur, it uses a fast shutter speed. A fast shutter speed, unfortunately, lets in only little light. So the only other option it has to get a somewhat decently exposed image is to artificially enhance the brightness via raising the ISO value. And that is where all the digital noise comes from. What we're going to do next is the opposite. We're going to sacrifice being able to take the shot handheld, smartphone rests on a tripod, which will allow us to use a very slow shutter speed, which lets in a lot of light. And because we're getting a lot of light from the shutter speed setting, we can afford to keep the ISO all the way down at 50, which with the S8 Plus is the lowest possible value, which will eliminate the digital noise. So let's check out how it's done. Now swipe right once and enter Pro mode. And before we do anything, let's come to camera settings, come to timer and select two settings. Why? I'm going to show you in a minute. Now obviously I've already done the shot and I know the settings. Here's the basic procedure. Select ISO and bring it all the way down to 50. Then select your shutter speed. I know that a shutter speed of 8 seconds will yield the desired results. So let's take a still. And the 2-second delay of the timer function will ensure there is no camera shake whatsoever while the image is being taken. Now let's check out the results. Obviously, much brighter image. Bright areas look fine, but now also the darker areas look much cleaner, much less digital noise. Overall, much more pleasing image to look at. And that's how easy it is. Sacrifice being able to take the shot handheld, use a tripod or whatever means necessary to keep the phone steady, use the timer function to avoid motion blur by activating the shutter, use a very slow shutter speed that lets in a lot of light, and keep the ISO all the way down. And you will get much nicer results in a low light situation. Now as far as video is concerned, unfortunately you can't go below a shutter speed of 1/30th of a second, because when shooting video that would introduce motion blur, which for video is at best an artistic effect, but by no means a setting with which you can shoot regular video. So my only tip is, go with a compromise between an underexposed image and a super grainy image. And when in doubt, go with the less grainy image. Just real quick, to the rescue of motion blur, if you will. For stills, it can actually look quite cool. The next shots are done with a shutter speed of 1 second. Let's take a look, see what we got. Ah, that's a nice one. And that's a nice one. So that's how you make good use of motion blur. So that's it for this tutorial. Once again, this video is just part of the complete video that is linked in the top right hand corner. So again, should you be interested in more hands-on Galaxy S8 Plus Pro Mode tutorials, definitely go check that out. If you liked this one, if you found it helpful, please make sure to leave a thumbs up, it's greatly appreciated. Any kind of comment or feedback is welcome and I'll try to answer as quickly as possible. All the tech that I've used in this video is linked in the description. As always, thank you so much for your time, thank you for watching, and hopefully see you again soon.